everyone, welcome back to Juggling Gym. I'm super excited because today is my 50th video ever. So I wanted to do something special and I'm going to tell you about how I learned how to juggle and how I got into juggling. As I'm doing that, I'll show you real footage of when I was learning tricks. I hope this is inspiring for those of you who are new to juggling, or even if you've been juggling for a while and you're just struggling with a certain trick. I hope you can see that with practice, you'll get better and better. I had always been interested in juggling ever since I was a kid. And then when I was a freshman or a sophomore in high school, I had the opportunity to go to Cirque du Soleil. And while I was there, I got some juggling balls. Now, I'm not exactly sure when I learned how to juggle, but I did some research. And Google keeps a shocking amount of your search history, by the way. By July 21st and 22nd of 2014, I was looking up other three-ball tricks, which means I was really ambitious or I had learned to juggle at this point. It's a little disappointing that I don't know the exact day I learned how to juggle, but I do have some early footage, which I'll show you soon. From there, it's a bit hazy. I do know that I like juggling a lot, but I just didn't do it as frequently as I do now, just because I was in high school and I had other extracurriculars that I was doing, but I definitely did like it. I do know that I learned a bunch of tricks from this website. When I got to college, I performed in my freshman talent show, and so that gives me a benchmark for how many tricks I had learned in high school. Like juggler's tennis, the half shower, reverse cascade, two balls in one hand, that sort of thing. That winter, I began my quest to learn Mills mess. Like many people, I was doing Flo's mess instead of Mills mess, and I didn't know how to fix it. I also started juggling 4 balls. A funny story, I actually didn't try to juggle 4 balls. It was kind of like an accident. So I ordered 3 balls, and there was something that was wrong with one of them, so they sent me like an extra one. And so I had 4 balls, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll try to learn them. But actually at the time, I only ordered 3 balls because I didn't think that I could juggle 4 balls. So I don't know where I got that idea from, but it definitely wasn't true. So if you feel like you can't juggle 4 balls, I would definitely encourage you to pick up that 4th one. It's pretty attainable with practice. And that summer, I also qualified clubs, which was pretty exciting. So at this point, I was juggling more than I did in high school. In high school, I kind of learned the beginner tricks, and then every so often I would pick up juggling balls and I would, just do those beginner tricks. But then once freshman year started of college, I started actively learning some more tricks. But I still wasn't juggling as much as I do now. Everything changed after I joined a juggling club my sophomore year of college. This was when I really started to get into juggling. I never realized how social juggling is and how much fun it is just to be around other jugglers. I got lots of tips and advice from the people I was around. That fall, I was working on some tricks which I had started working on my freshman year of college. So the first one I want to talk about is 3 clubs. Even though I had qualified 3 clubs in the summer, I wasn't really that good at them. Look at how high my right hand is when I'm catching the club. I kept practicing throughout the fall, and I definitely improved, but my hand was still catching a little bit too high. It took me a long time before I could juggle clubs like this. So if you're learning clubs, don't get discouraged. They're really hard, but they're worth it. They let you pass. They're really cool to an audience, and you can do it. I also kept working on my 4-ball fountain, and by that fall, I was able to perform 4 balls in my talent show. I do tend to juggle worse when I'm performing, but you'll notice I'm also juggling too high for this trick. In early 2018, I decided to learn how to do Mills mess again because it just seemed like a really cool trick. Unfortunately, I was still doing Flo's mess, which basically means I was uncrossing my arms at the wrong time. And you'll also notice that I'm starting from a reverse cascade, which is not how I actually end up doing Mills mess if you've already seen my tutorial on that. By April, someone had taught me that technique. I was still having trouble uncrossing my arms at the wrong time, but eventually something started to click, and the next day I was doing Mills mess. Then eventually I learned how to make the balls curve inward like I talked about in my video. Mills mess was really confusing and frustrating to learn, but I'm super glad I stuck with it because now it's one of my favorite tricks. And you can also do cool variations on it, like Rubenstein's Revenge, which I just made a tutorial for. Another really frustrating trick for me to learn was the 5-ball cascade. So I got my set of 5 balls to practice with in June of 2018, and I didn't end up flashing them until October of 2018. It did end up being a really long journey, going from 5 catches to 10 catches. I just couldn't figure out how to run the pattern more than like 7 or 8 throws, and I was definitely pretty frustrated. But then in May of 2019, I finally qualified and I was super excited about it. I hope you can see now that I wasn't a natural juggler or anything like that. I just practiced and practiced and then I got better. So of course everyone is different, and for some people it will just be easier for them to juggle than for other people. But if you feel like you can't juggle because you're uncoordinated or like clumsy, which is what a lot of people tell me, I really don't think that's true. Just juggle every day for like 10 to 15 minutes and you should be able to juggle 3 balls, within a few weeks or a few months. Obviously, I have a problem with turning, but I can juggle more than I used to. So I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.